So I have all my walls in place. I've checked and made sure they are located where they need to be. I've also healed any wall breaks or any holes in my walls to made sure they're all how they need to be. It's black walls, so I can't really see what's going on, so I need to kind of make sure I investigate more closely. So these walls...
Sorry, question with that. So when you're just using the healing thing, you're just going around to the corners and just making sure.
Well, I have to be careful because if I use my heal tool here, it's going to break that miter. And now I don't have it joined. Okay. So and this is where I actually do want a miter here, and I want to maintain that miter, right? So I just, in using my selection tool, I can kind of hover around and pay attention to those highlighted lines. I can see, for instance...
You just want to see that the highlight is continuous.
Well, I can see here the highlight is broken because this wall is correctly joined to this other wall. So this wall has that wall break right in that section, and that's why the highlighted line doesn't go through that wall join. Does that make sense?
Because you want that one there.
Right, yeah. I want that one. But here, when I had that wall join issue here, there was no piece of wall, right? Or there was no wall join that I wanted to maintain. Okay, so all my walls are continuous. I don't create segments of lines or delete my walls where I want to place my doors. I want to insert my doors into those walls. So I go to my door tool, which is just underneath my remove wall break tool. And I can see when I select my door tool, my cursor changes to a door, and I have my multiple mode menus along the top. So as I hover over a wall, I can see what happens is the wall highlights and my door locks into that space, okay? So right now I have my standard insertion mode, so it's going to place this door on my click. So I'm going to, say for instance, click this door here. The first door sets the placement, the first click sets the placement. The second click sets the swing. So in this case, this door is swinging in this direction. I can change this after the fact as well. So I click, and it takes some time, and there my door is inserted. Up in my object info palette, I can see it says door in wall. I want to make sure it says door in wall because then it's communicating to me that I've inserted it correctly into the wall. If I just place a door, it just says door, okay, because this door is not in a wall. It's just in the middle of nowhere. So I see as I placed my door within this wall, it cut that wall exactly where it needs to be, and it inserted that as well. Also, if I go and I see into 3D view, I can see that it placed it accordingly in 3D view as well. Okay. So this door, I can see in my object info palette, it has the insertion mode, so I can change that insertion mode. So if in my door, there is a standard insertion mode, and there's also my object alignment. So I can align to the left side of my object, the center of my object, the right side of my object, or a custom origin mode. So that is, here was insert my center line. I can do left edge. Oh, that's in placement of within the wall. I can do right edge. So I can change all these settings after the fact in my object info palette. If, for instance, I placed the swing direction incorrectly, I can easily go flip, 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 okay? So what I want to pay attention to when I flip, it's flipping horizontally, then it's flipping vertically, and then it's flipping horizontally, and then it's flipping vertically again. So right now I have a simple swing door. I can see that it's open, but for instances of horizontal doors, so pocket doors and bifolds, the flip one direction, depending which way it is, isn't actually going to produce any visible changes. I'll show you that eventually, but so you think it might not be doing anything, it still is. This door style, just like our walls, we have wall styles, and in doors we have door styles. So here, this is an unstyled door, and I can replace this with a styled door. With being an unstyled door, all these settings I can change. So for instance, right now this is a 3-foot door, a standard exterior door. But for instance, in interior door, I'm going to make this likely 30 or 32 inches. So I'll put 32. And that changes the width of the door and of the door opening in the wall. Right now my head height is 6'8", and what I need to be, these measurements are in reference to the leaf, so the panel of the door. There's also, I can change the unit size or the rough opening size. Everybody knows what that means? Okay, so the doors, there's the door, and that's the panel, and then there is the door frame. So as a unit, it's going to have its jambs, its sill if it's an exterior door, and its header, okay? So this is the frame of the door. That unit, as an entire unit, is going to be a different dimension, right? So, and then there is the rough opening in the wall, in the framing, that allows for the door to be inserted. It's going to need enough space to allow for shimming of the door. And so we can use, right now, we are going to want to use the least size most anyways. Top shape, I can change the top shape if I want to. These, I could do round, segment, gable, all those different options. I will let you play with them. We can also visually see the previews of these up in the door tool preferences. Configuration is a big one. This is where this door is a simple swing, but I can also do an opening. So this just creates an opening in the wall. I can also do a cased opening, so trim around the edges. Simple swing, swing bipart, so French doors. What I can see, so that panel is, this is the size reference in the rough opening. It didn't make each panel 3 feet or 32 inches, it made the entire opening, right? So I want to make sure that I'm putting in the right sizes and making any adjustments I need to. Pocket simple, this is going to be a pocket door. We can see here's the frame that needs to go into the wall itself. Now when we show this, we want to show this at an open a little bit so we can kind of see what's going on. Down below, a few settings. There's this angle. This is an open angle, and right now it's at 90. So basically think of this in reference to a simple swing door. When it's fully open, it's at 90. When it's half open, it's at 45. And when it's closed, it's at 0. Okay, so this is a horizontal door. Like I said, it's not going to be fully open. It's not going to open 90 degrees, but we're still using those angles as a reference. So I want to show these half open. So I'm going to put this at 45, and I can see it half opens the door. Okay. Also, as I'm in a pocket door, if I go up to the flip, I'm going to flip this. And so see, it flipped horizontally. Now I'm going to flip again. it didn't do anything because it's flipping vertically and it looks exactly the same way. So now I'm going to flip again, flipped horizontally, and if I flip again, it's not going to do anything because it's flipping vertically. And so it's rotating through all those flips, but some are visible and some aren't. Okay, so that's, remember we want to change our open angle for our pockets, always to show them at 45. And if we need to flip, there's going to be extra ones that aren't visible. So our pocket simple, we also have a pocket bipart. Again, we want to make any size adjustments we need to. Bifold simple. So right now it shows in this direction because my open angle is 45. So just like our pockets, our bifolds, we want to show at an open angle of 45. Whereas 90, it's going to look like that, and it doesn't visually represent it as well as at 45. Or if I put this at 0, it shows it closed. So our bifolds and our pockets, we want to show at an open angle of 45 degrees. Again, if I flip through, only 2 of those are going to be visible. Bifold bipart, double acting. So those are like those restaurant doors. Our slider. So either glass panels or wood panel doors. Overhead. So our overhead is going to be our garage doors. So we can see what this dash line is representing is the door as it opens and hangs above in the tracks. It's going to be outlined in this. Right now, this is just a regular size door, so, but
I
you,
was like, that looks, but it
right,
normally
yeah,
wouldn't.
normally it would be bigger, right? And
That's a good one to show how you do need to change the size, though.
right,
'Cause
exactly,
the other one you could kind of see, but that one really showed.
Yeah,
you need to change the
exactly.
size.
It looks weird because it's out of proportion,
Mhm.
right? Complex swing, so if you want to have a fixed sash or fixed panel and then an opening panel, you can choose that as well. The operation, and like, look at how many settings there are for each door. So these are all in the object info palette and can be changed after creation. If I go up to my door tool, I can also see that this is my door tool preferences dialog box, and here are all the settings. So under general, I have all these settings. I can see this 3D preview of what it looks like, top plan preview. So if I make any changes, I can visually see what they look like. So there's my round top, for instance, okay? 2D visualization, so these are all the line weights and attributes for each of the components of the door. So we have our jamb leaf, right? The jamb's going to be the sides, the leaf is going to be the panel, the swing, the sash, glazing. And this is why I'm introducing this right now, so you guys can go over this on the weekend and play and explore, because there are so many settings. So for instance, some things I need to indicate on the general settings. So for instance, if I wanted to include a transom with this door, everybody knows what a transom is. The window above a door. So in this case, I will turn that on here, and then I need to modify the settings for that transom under the transom menu. Leaf, if I want a panel, glass panel, then I can do that. I can customize all those settings for the glass panel as well. So these are all settings for, and I can include my hardware and select it. So first I have to include it, then I can select which, from the library, which one I want to use. These are all unstyled settings, and I can see up on my top left corner, it says use style unstyled. If if I click on that drop down menu, there is also a very large library of existing doors. Okay, so do explore those as well. Now, when I place my door, it is a custom door. I can also do an offset insertion mode. So for instance, if I wanted to make this a certain distance, say 6 inches from this wall to allow for trim, I can press the U key and select offset insertion mode. So the first click is going to be my point of reference. And then I can see my cursor changes and it then turns into a door. I'm going to want that length to be 6 inches and I want that to be at -90. I also, now what happens is this is the center point of the door. So this is my first mode menu, second, third. I want to hit the O key to toggle, oh, I'm in there. The O key to toggle, and I can see now I'm getting that left insertion mode, and that's going to put that left frame side of the door 6 inches. So then the second click sets the door position, and then my third click will set the door swing. It brings up this enter offset, and it's basically saying, okay, you indicated to me that from this, your first reference point, you wanted it to be 6 inches to the insertion point, and this is where that 6 inches is there, and it's just confirming that information for you. I'm going to hit OK, and my door then is placed 6 inches from here to here.